So we have two nervous systems, the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system. And as I sit here in the middle of an internet fast, with everything feeling incredibly calm and I feel present, untriggered, I think that I feel triggered around people into courses of action and saying things that it's like I'm so concerned about what they think or feel or say that I'm forced to continually speak or react in ways which take into account not their actual head state, but my perception of their head state. And I feel like a lot of people aren't like that, or some people. I'm not talking about ignoring people. I think to some people, other people's internal state is just less important than it is to me. And I'm wondering about that. I'm wondering why I always feel triggered. And I come back to this idea about there being the two nervous systems, your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous system. I always get them the wrong way around. I think the sympathetic nervous system is your fight or flight response, and the parasympathetic nervous system is the one that runs like your internal, like your digestion and your breathing and your unconscious things that your body your body does to look after itself. And so the theory is that your parasympathetic nervous system or your sympathetic nervous system take precedent at different times. And so, and I could get into the details of why, but in general, the more time you spend in one, the more your body instinctively reverts to that one. So like if you spend your, it kind of makes sense if you think about it. If you're living in an environment with a lot of threat and you're not safe, then your body tends to be more in its sympathetic nervous system, to be more triggered into the fight or flight response. And it kind of hovers on the edge of fight or flight, because your body adapted to that so that it would be alive to threat. And so if you have someone in your life who stresses you out or triggers you or is abusive, or your job makes you feel under threat, or if being on social media makes you feel under threat, maybe that's that triggered feeling that you feel, that kind of anxiety, that you're sort of in your sympathetic nervous system on the cusp of triggering a fight or flight response. And I think that's by design. But like obviously the more time you spend in that state, the more you tend to be in that state. So when you come off your devices and try to interact with people, you will just, by your biology, be alert for danger. And I wonder if that's part of the triggering process. And so what I'm keen to investigate is the more time I spend offline, the more time I spend in this calm state, when I see people, Will I be less anxious? Will I be less triggered? Will I be able to maintain this kind of peaceful, aware, but not alert state? And I'm interested to find that out. And I wonder if a lot of my social anxiety over the last while has come from that, being too much on my devices and triggering myself, making my body like more prone to be in its sympathetic nervous system, on the cusp of fight or flight. Something to think about anyway.